Coming up next is the tip of the week. Stay tuned for tips, tricks and more about Android.
We now move on to our next segment, and we're talking about the tip of the week. And Ed's standing by, even though he's not here, busy in that pub of his. Whatever. Ed is not with us here today, as you can tell, but he does have a tip of the week, most especially for those of you guys in the UK, and it has to do with the new alert system that you guys have gotten. And so here's Ed demonstrating that new alert system, emergency system that you guys have in the UK.
Hello everyone, I'm Ed Green and I'm here with a tip of the week about emergency alerts. And I'm doing this now because the UK is rolling out an emergency alert system which it's going to test on Sunday the 23rd of April at 3 p.m. Now this already exists in countries like Canada, I think in the US, and it's designed to notify mobile phone, cell phone owners of risks or threat to life. The UK uses examples like fire or flooding or other severe weather events when they might notify people in a locality that their life is in danger. And they'll do it through sending an alert to a mobile phone. And this alert is going to sound something like this. That's taken from the government video, so I assume that's the sound they're going to use. And the thing about this is all your phone needs to be is connected to a 4G or 5G network. It doesn't need to have mobile data, it doesn't need to have Wi-Fi, and this thing is going to sound even if your phone is on silent or is in Do Not Disturb. The only way your phone won't sound is either if it's turned off. If emergency alerts aren't supported, they are on phones running Android 11 and above, and maybe on certain models running Android 10. It won't sound if you're in airplane mode, because you're not connected to a cell tower or mobile phone masts, and if you disable emergency alerts in settings. Now, as I say, it will be fairly localised when it happens for real, because it'll notify people connected to the mobile phone masts in a certain area, so location services don't come into play. So if you're in an area susceptible or that has experienced flooding where there's a risk to life, they may issue an alert. Now, this test on the 23rd of April at 3 p.m. is going to be national, and I absolutely always recommend that you leave emergency alerts enabled. Clearly, they're not going to be issued very often, and it will be, as I've said a couple of times, only when there's an actual threat to life. But I am going to show you how to disable them. You are supposed to be able to swipe these alerts away once you've seen them, but obviously that's quite a loud sound and TalkBack users may not be able to. I don't know if that audio will be lowered. Will it be ducked by TalkBack? I'm not sure, and there's no particularly easy way to check. It might be quite a shocking sound if it happens unexpectedly. I got one in Vancouver at 4 a.m. That certainly surprised me because I had no idea what was going on, and my phone was in Do Not Disturb as it is overnight, but nonetheless it sounded. And there's been talk of this being a particular risk to people in abuse situations who may have a secret mobile phone hidden somewhere where they can contact the outside world. And obviously if this thing goes off, chances are that an abuser may find it. So while I recommend that you do absolutely keep it enabled, I am nonetheless going to show you how to turn it off. So we need to go into our settings app, which we've demonstrated a lot recently, and we've been through this setting, but I want to just show you again because of what's happening in the UK. Now, you could just type emergency alerts into the search box if you like, or you can go down and we're looking for safety and emergency in settings.
Safety and emergency.
I'm going to double tap here.
Safety and emergency. Back button out of list.
Now, while it is called safety and emergency on most phones to handsets, what you'll see in safety and emergency does vary. So I'm just going to, you can either swipe or run your finger down the screen, and I'm going to look for emergency alerts.
Safety and emergency. Open emergency information button and list. Emergency information. Emergency SOS. Emergency location service on. Earthquake alerts on. Emergency alerts.
This is what we want, emergency alerts. I'm going to double tap here.
Emergency alerts. Navigate up button out of list. Allow alerts on switch and list.
Now, allow alerts is on. That's the main control in here, but there are different categories of alert, which I'll show you in a minute. But if I turn this off, you will see that all of the two other categories in here become disabled by default. So I'll just toggle this off for now, and I'll show you what I mean.
Off. Alerts. Heading. Extreme alerts. Extreme threats to life and property. Off. Switch. Disabled. Severe alerts. Severe threats to life and property. Off. Switch. Disabled.
So you'll see that those are now disabled because I turned off emergency alerts at the top. I could leave emergency alerts on and only turn one of these two off. So I could turn off severe and keep extreme, for instance. And in that way, emergency alerts would be on, but one of the categories would be off. I actually want my emergency alerts to be on, so I'm going to go and turn this back on.
Extreme alerts. Alerts. Heading. Allow alerts. Off. Switch. On.
But that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you would go about disabling emergency alerts if you wanted to.
Thank you so much, Ed, for that.